war, and we're just having a little battle, right? It's just part of the little war. Battle of Gettysburg, was a
Yes.
little war, so a little battle. So, what are you trying to get across right now? Do I want to let the boss know there's a problem? And I've seen the problem, I've diagnosed it, and I've got three possible options we could do. And here's the one I recommend. Are you trying to, help your boss achieve his goals? Are you an entrepreneur and you're speaking to sell from stage? What are you trying to get across in your talk? Are you a health and fitness coach and you want to get across that, not eating a healthy diet is, it's, a problem. It causes all these bad things, and here's these steps you can take. What kind of information are you trying to get across? So what's your ultimate outcome? What are you trying to get across right now in this particular engagement? And why do you want them to know this? So let's say you knew something shady was going on at work. Your outcome is to get a promotion. Right now you want to make sure that nobody, that the right thing gets done here. And then why do you want them to know this? Because it's the right thing to do. Some people are out there doing things for themselves, but let me think of another example. So why do you want them to know this? So your customers, if you're on stage, some people just think getting on stage to speak is about, hey, I'm really smart about this. People just want to know what I know. That is not why you get on a stage to speak. People don't really want to know what you know. They want you to be entertaining. Because if all we wanted to do was know what's in your head, then monotone people would be interesting.
Yes,
right?
That's right. Yes, exactly.
Because they're very
yes.
smart.
Mm-hmm.
They're telling, they've got really good information, but it's boring. We want people to be entertaining and have good information that we can take away and do something with. But if they've only got 1 or 2 points, we're okay with that. Just keep us awake, make us laugh, and teach us a couple of things, right?
Yes.
And so then the fourth W, there's WWW and then Y, WI. So the fourth W is, what style of communication works best with this person or audience in this situation? So are you in a room of 8 people in a conference room? Then you might not actually stand up to brief, right? You might sit down. You're going to adapt your communication to that situation. If you're on a big stage, and you're, let's say, 5 feet tall, are you going to stand behind the podium and just talk to your slides? I would hope not. You're just gonna look like Mr. Wilson on Tim the Tool Time, right? They're just gonna see the top of your head. You need to come out from behind the podium.
That's right.
And people grip that podium, man. It's like armor. They just stay behind that thing because they don't want to go out and walk around on stage. But that, thinking about the stage as this huge distance from the audience is the wrong mindset. It's a place where everybody can see you and you can connect with everyone. It just gives you that connection, a capability. So now your message has the opportunity to reach more people. So what style of communication? So if you're in an interview, are you going to ramble on and ask them, what they did last weekend, or, no, that's not what you're going to do. You're going to answer the questions, right? But now if you're communicating with your spouse and your spouse likes to go on and on and on and on and on about his day before you can actually have a real conversation, then you're going to, hey, so how was your day? You're going to have all that communication. Now, the flip side could be true. I know plenty of guys, they absolutely do not want to tell you about their day at the end of the day. They just want to, they
want to come home and sit down and be quiet. Yes.
Yeah, they're done. They've talked too much at work. They're like, I got to have an hour where nobody talks to me, And so that's when you're considering the kind of communication. So another example, there were guys in one of the offices that I worked at. You knew that this one guy never answered email. He only answered face-to-face questions, which was very irritating because he was always traveling. So, but you knew you'd go, sneak around and you'd figure out his travel schedule, and then you'd be the first one at the door when he got to work the day he was coming to work, right? So that's how you use that strategy to figure out, how to talk to somebody. Is email. Some people are just email. Some people don't read their email and they're never in their office and they only answer voicemail, So it's crazy. I know it's got to drive millennials crazy, right?
It is, because they want communication completely by phone.
Yeah, they're like, I never want to ever see you.
Yes. What's my phone ringing for? What, is that not a text? Should be a text.
That's right. Yeah, and texting, for the older generation, they're just kind of playing with that, so it's not heavily used. People have Blackberries, but where I was, that's what you have to figure out, the culture of where you're at, what works best in this environment for this customer. Some people, your customer, you'll go in and you've got all the data, because some people like lots of data, but you don't know the style of the person you're briefing. Sometimes you can't know. But you got to also have that slide in your deck that's like the summary. If he's okay, so how much does it cost? He doesn't even want to hear all that. He's got 5 minutes and somebody's already told him he needs it. He trusts them more than you. He doesn't want to hear what you have to say about it. Just how much does it cost? So you've got to be flexible and be able to talk more if that's the kind of person you're dealing with, a details person, or less if you're dealing with a type A, ain't nobody got time for this kind of person, right? And then the fifth step, so invisible to invincible.
Yeah.
When you communicate, the first four, I'll recap. What's your ultimate outcome you want, your long range goal? Second one, what are you trying to get across to you in this communication? What points are you trying to make? The third one, why do you want them to know this? What's the so what? Why should they care? The fourth, what style of communication to use for this situation? And the fifth, oh my gosh, if anybody's got a moody parent, they are going to know what I'm talking about. Y'all, do you ever walk into the living room and the Super Bowl's on and you start trying to ask Dad a question about, can you go do something or can you have some money? It's not the right time to have a conversation. That's the fifth step. Is it the right time to communicate about this?
Mary, I love that you're saying that, because no one says that, do they? Like, you've just picked up on a point that's an obvious point, but no one's saying, there's that old-fashioned thing, a time and a place for everything, and we've been told not to go with that old-fashioned way anymore. We've been told,
but people are people.
Yes.
It's old-fashioned, but at the same time, people are still people. If I'm a very outgoing, I'm on the edge of extrovert, introvert actually, but extrovert and very outgoing. And my daughter is a hardcore introvert, and literally, I could not talk to her until about 5 o'clock when she was in high school.
Okay,
before she went to school, she wouldn't even talk. Right? It's not the right time to ask. Why'd you get a C on your test?
You need to wait
even
until
parents
the right
to
time.
children.
Yes.
It's not just conversations up, it's conversations down too. It's got to be the right time for that person. And it can drive you crazy because this sounds like a lot of work, right? It's like, can't I just open my mouth and just like say what I want to say and just be done with it? Why do I have to worry about everybody else and how they receive it? Why can't I it should be their problem to worry about it. But here's the problem. Number one, what is your ultimate outcome? Ultimately, we want to be heard. It's not just us going off spouting a bunch of words. We want people to hear them, understand them, appreciate how we feel, and act, on that. So if you don't take into account all these different things, you're not setting up yourself for success, because generally we're trying to help people. We want the best for people, our teams, when we're communicating with them, and they just don't get it. If we go think through this process, it's going to make everybody's life better. If they can understand what it is you want and where you're coming from, and then they can then be creative and think of ways to help you achieve that, right? And so you work together better. Just communication is so essential. So that's my goal, is to help teach people and give them a place to practice this, the strategy of getting your message across, because it's so much more than what you say and what you put on a PowerPoint. It's totally the performance. It's the strategy that goes into it that is absolutely key to your success and creating a life and the results that you want.
And I love it, Mary, because I know that you're saying, but it takes a lot of planning. I love the detail that you're putting into things to help people with that as well, the step of the way. And I know you're putting together your ebook. Do you know when that's going to be released? When can people look out for that? Have you got a release
I'm hoping in either late February or March. Excellent. But what I was going to ask everybody, so the ebook is going to be these tactical strategies on how to communicate well and get the results that you want in half the time. And so there's going to be more like, you've probably heard about guerrilla marketing. For me, this is like guerrilla communications, right? It's like the things you just have to just do if you want to achieve those results and your goals. So if people want to text me all one word, Sarah Book.
Okay.
All one word, Sarah Book. And they text the number 256-658-4807. That's 256-658-4807. And so if you text me Sarah Book when the book comes out, I'm going to text you back and get your email address and add you to the list to get you guys. And I'm going to send all your listeners, a complimentary version of the ebook. So yeah, I'm super
thank you.
excited.
That's wonderful. Good. That sounds great. Tell us how we can get hold of you. So if we're looking for Mary Ottman after tonight, where are you and where can we find you?
Okay, so on Instagram, I'm at Mary OTTTT, 4 T's, Marriott, MARYOTTTT.
Okay.
On my website, I am at www.maryottman.com.
That's great, Mary. I can't tell you what a wonderful guest you've been this evening. I knew that you would be. I found you most interesting when I met you last year, and I'm so glad that you had an opportunity to come onto the show and just share all these wonderful tactics that you've got. And I'm really, really happy that you went into that personal side of your story at the beginning of, the involvement you had with that corporate job that you had and the way you changed positions. It just gave a real good scope of why you are where you are today. And thank you for going into that personal side of things and just sharing that and giving people inspiration that there's so many more things you can do as time goes on and still look back at your life and go, okay, I'm glad I did that. I'm really glad I did this. But now look what I'm embarking on, and I'm starting to do this and I'm loving this as well. So, I want to thank you. I think you've inspired in all different areas. And
thank you, Sarah. I appreciate that. And I feel the same way about you. You've got a great mission and a great concept with your show, and it's absolutely doable. People can absolutely create a life that they love, and it doesn't end with your first retirement.
It doesn't. No, honestly, I think it's great. I love that you're at that. You're only 49 and you're already, retired and embarking on something new that I think is going to help so many people. And that's exactly what we're trying to do constantly, is make a difference. I know that you said when I spoke to you off the air that life was calling. I know that was something you talked about, life calling. And I just, I'm really glad that you're getting the opportunity to do that and going to everything that you love to do. But I'm really excited for all the people that you're going to help along the way as well.
Well, thank you so much, Sarah. It's an exciting ride, and I cannot wait to help more people achieve what they want to achieve. It's awesome.
That's great, Mary. Thank you. Okay, thank you so much.
All right, thank you, Sarah.
All right, bye.
Bye.
Well, Mary was just the most amazing guest. I'm really, really happy to have her on this evening. I want to thank her a lot for doing that. I hope you've taken away some amazing information again. And again, the reason I call it Create a Life You Love is because I want you to come away with ideas and inspiration and be able to do something for yourself on your terms that you really, really want to do. If you'd like to get a hold of me, you can email me at sarah@sarahshakespeare.com. You can look on my website there. Also, you can follow me on Facebook. I have 2 pages, both under the name of Sarah Shakespeare. And if you want to follow me on Instagram, I am Shakespeare Sarah on that one. I've got the backwards one there, Shakespeare Sarah. If you follow me on Twitter, I am Sarah Shakespeare. And my E at the end of Shakespeare is a number 3, turned the other way.